Hello everyone, so we recently released the full and final trailer for the Edeneth Chronicle. So if you have not already seen it, I would recommend clicking the card appearing in the upper right corner of the video and giving it a look before proceeding with this behind the scenes production diary. So I want to take one of these entries to kinda focus on the subject of body acting, because really that's what you're going to see on screen. I mean, you're going to see the fruits of development in the realization of the scripts. You're going to see the fruits of pre-production, you know, with all these awesome sets and skins and this beautiful world that our artists have designed and created. But ultimately, like with any film project, the production phase is vastly important because that's what the audience sees and experiences in the final product. And in Machinima, what that is body acting.
In layman's terms, essentially, since we don't have live actors, we can't actually go onto a set with people. We have to substitute that with a character in-game, using the in-game models. So what we've done is we have all these Minecraft characters within a realm, a Minecraft server. We get them all in there. We give every person the skin that they need to play that character. We get into our positions, we discuss what we're going to do, all the actions that need to be performed, where people need to be at certain times.
So the body acting process has been quite interesting because our approach to it has kind of evolved as time has gone on. How we approach the process and what we do is kind of dictated largely by what resources are available to us, because that changes over time. Namely because we use Minecraft Realms to host our world, and what this does is it locks us into the latest version. And plus, Minecraft has received several large updates over the course of this production. I want to say we started in 1.8 or 1.9, and we are currently in 1.11. So, you know, as time has gone on, what we've been able to do and what we've been able to use has kind of changed depending on what the status is of Minecraft at the time. For example, when we first started out, we had essentially what was a very traditional sort of film process where I would be standing in as a camera and everybody else would be the body actors, and they would go through the actions, and I would be using both the tools available to me from just in-game Minecraft spectator mode or mods like Pixel Cam, and I would use these tools to capture the shot while other people acted it out. But the problem with this was that it was all happening live. So character action, or rather character movement and camera movement had to kind of sync up to get a good, decent, usable shot. Hopefully we can time this right. 3, 2, 1, action. Okay, hold on, that's a little too close. But lately, what has happened with 1.11 is that Replay Mod and Forge are finally both all up to date, which means we could use them on Realms and be able to do some things that we could not previously do. So now, not only can I finally stand in as a body actor instead of just a camera, but I can also perfect the camera shots and the camera movements after the fact. We just have to get the character action right the first time, and then I could go in using Replay Mod and capture the shots afterwards.
It would be a lot easier too, because we wouldn't have to worry about getting in the way of camera. When Raph was the camera, it wasn't like, I don't know what you call it, dynamic, where the camera was at a certain path and you had to make sure that you were in front of the camera at all times. So if the camera would move faster than you and you got left behind, there was no way to fix that. You just had to do it again. But now that he's doing all the editing afterwards, we can just do the scene one time, get a good action, and then in post figure out where the camera needs to be at what time. Meaning that if somebody was kind of out of position, you don't have to move the person, you can just move the camera.
So this makes it, you know, a little bit more of a traditional machinima process instead of a traditional film process.
It made the actual like body acting process a lot faster, but it makes the recording and post-production a little bit longer, which was just more work for Raph. But we appreciate him for it because we get to get more shots done.
And of course, this kind of adds a little bit more to my workload, having now to both be in the scene as a body actor and then go back later on my own time to be able to capture the shots. But in my opinion, it is kind of a worthy sacrifice, because now, you know, for the first time, I could take as much time and effort as I need to be able to perfect these shots and perfect the camera work of it.
The head bobbing, it's not as intuitive as you might think, because when you talk in real life, you don't go around just like this. You don't talk with your head. You talk with your mouth. So having to figure out what kind of movements on the mouse to make your character's head move around in such a way that it looks like you're talking, it takes a couple tries to get used to, but once you get it, you get it.
It's a quiet one, to be sure. Not a fiend in sight.
In some cases, if we need a lot of more characters than we have actors, we've used a blockbuster mod, where we can have programmable stand-in actors where we don't have to actually have people playing all of these roles. From my perspective, the body acting process isn't really much about body acting. I am playing in one of the characters in the scene, doing all that stuff, but I'm also programming all of the mobs or effects that are going to be happening during the scene, and that's most of what I'm going to be doing. I'm basically acting as all of the non-human character actors, as well as a human character actor that is in the scene. So if there's creepers who are going to be moving into a formation and then blowing up an area, I've got to program all of that stuff in and make sure that it syncs up with all the human actions, which is a little bit hard because humans act a lot differently than mob AI, and you just have to make it kind of just line up somehow. Yeah, it's a lot of coordination. It requires a lot of trial and error, and it's probably the longest setup time. So once you see how all the actors are going to act in the scene, then you could say oh, I need to make this a lot faster. I need to make this a lot slower. Make it so that mobs are attracted to them or not, that they can die or not. All that stuff I have to keep in mind, because you don't want a character actor dying in the middle of a scene where he's not supposed to die, and you don't want a character actor not dying in a scene where he is supposed to die. So all that stuff you have to keep in mind and make sure that it goes off without a hitch.
So as for the general production as of late, there's been quite a lot of progress that has been coming. If you've seen the latest trailer, then you'll see just how much we've been able to accomplish, and that we've announced an official release date of May the 5th. As of recording this, that is almost exactly 2 months. So we kind of have that to look forward to, and we're kind of on a major crunch time right now. Although the production has suffered a pretty big blow with a sort of little tragedy that has happened recently, with Lauren's hard drive suffering a critical failure.
So yeah, it started clicking, and it wasn't reading on the computer, on my computer, so I had to send it into a data recovery service to get all my data off of this broken hard drive, and we're waiting for that to come back in. But I've been without this computer for about a couple weeks now, apparently, and it's been tough.
We're currently in the process of attempting to get that data recovered, but there's a lot of stuff on that hard drive that would be very difficult, if not impossible, to replicate, and that is kind of vital to the production.
If we were not able to get my data recovered, it would mean that all of the worlds for Edeneth that we need for shooting, or not all of them, but most of the worlds that we need for shooting Edeneth might be gone. All of my project files for things that I'm working on, either for a project of my own or for Edeneth or for the YouTube channel, all of those would be gone. All of my live streams, all of my videos from all my archived live streams.
But either way, it has posed a little bit of a hiccup for the production. Lauren has had to resort to using a little bit less powerful of a setup for production days.
And we're still waiting for results to see what's going on and if I can get all my data back. So until then, I could run Minecraft barely.
But at least there's that, and at least we can continue to work, but still there's a lot of things that we cannot do without Lauren's PC being in working order and without the data that was on Lauren's hard drive.
Progress as usual. It's just a little haphazard at the moment. This is indeed a potato laptop. For filming, it's surprisingly okay. I don't have to do anything like crazy, intensive or anything.
We're having to use Raf's mic to
for both of us to communicate.
So yeah, that of course just really sucks, and hopefully we'll be able to get this situation remedied. Hopefully everything will work out for the best, but if not, it could deal a serious blow to the production, which is kind of scary to think about.
So last I heard, all of my data had been recovered, and they had put it onto or I guess they're going to put it onto a external hard drive, and that's what they're going to send back to me. I haven't heard back from them. I guess I'm going to hear sometime today or tomorrow when they ship it. They're going to give me a tracking number so I can see when it's going to actually be here. Hopefully this week. Just waiting for that, and then all I need to do is just buy another internal hard drive for this baby, and reinstall my OS, put all my stuff back on, and back up and running.
So to get back on the topic of body acting, contrary to how we might make it sound, it is not all exactly what I would call work. Naturally, there are a lot of shots, especially the big effects shots or shots where Lauren has to set up a lot of mobs that take a long time to set up and take a long time to reset. So there's a lot of downtime, and with a lot of downtime in Minecraft comes a lot of fooling around, and our cast and crew certainly gets into some mischief.
So why are you giggling?
No reason. I just figured out. Yes.
That is awful looking.
Tried to get the
That
horse
is the stuff of nightmares. Just like this visible pulse going through it.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, it takes about a month to a month and a half to be able to finish production on an entire episode from start to finish. Some episodes have taken as much as 2 months to be able to wrap production on. So it really depends on the contents of it, but still, it's not exactly a short process. There have been lots of little instances that kind of make me feel like this whole project is meant to be. They're like little production miracles, I like to think of them as. Kind of over the course of working on it, you know, some people have come and gone, but there have been a couple of people in particular who were key voice actors, and that they just sort of, you know, dropped off the grid. We lost contact with them and kind of hadn't heard back from them in a good long while. And just over the past month or so, both of the people who we'd kind of lost contact with just spontaneously resurfaced, and we've been able to, you know, continue scheduling and moving forward with their parts. But I feel like we're fast approaching completion, and there are still a handful of voices that need to be done, but we do have some voiceover sessions coming up that are going to knock out a lot of characters all at once, and I can't wait for you guys to just hear more of this diverse voice cast that we have. So that's been very interesting, and as we're getting, you know, more into post-production and as we get more rough cuts prepared, it's really kind of exciting to see all of this stuff just come together for a final project that is cinematic and just like kind of feels like a movie to watch, to be honest, when I start looking at these rough cuts and what we have just finished so far. We're fast approaching May the 5th, and I am very much looking forward to it, and I'm very excited to see how people will react.